Okay, I need to talk about this because the way this situation blew up feels so predictable and honestly a little frustrating if you've been in this K-pop space for a while. So G-Dragon just stepped on the Coachella stage with Big Bang. And let's be real for a second. This wasn't just any performance. This is Big Bang. This is legacy. This is history walking onto one of the biggest global stages. And the first thing that got attention? The crowd. Not even joking, people were talking about how massive the audience was, how loud it got, how the energy felt like a throwback to peak Big Bang era. Like, you could literally feel the nostalgia and impact through the screen. That alone already says a lot about their influence, because not every group, even today, can pull that kind of reaction internationally. But then, of course, the narrative shifted. Suddenly, media outlets, specifically TenAsia, dropped a report focusing on G-Dragon's vocals. And not in a neutral way. It was very much giving, let's highlight the flaws energy. They pointed out that his high notes sounded weak, mentioned possible vocal strain, and basically framed the whole performance around that. And this is where things get interesting, because the public reaction? Completely different. Korean netizens were not buying it, like at all. Instead of agreeing with the criticism, a lot of people actually came out defending him, and not in a blind fan way, but in a very logical, grounded way. First of all, people were like, are we watching the same performance? Because many said he actually sounded better than expected. Some even pointed out that he's improving compared to before, which, if you think about it, is kind of crazy considering how long he's been in the industry. This is not a rookie. This is someone who debuted over a decade ago, went through everything, highs, lows, scandals, military hiatus, and is still out here evolving. That alone deserves a little respect. But what really stood out to me is the argument that kept repeating everywhere. Did they forget his main role is as a rapper? And I'm sorry, but that's the real conversation. Because why are we suddenly holding G-Dragon to main vocalist standards? Since when? This is someone known for his tone, his delivery, his stage presence, his artistry, not for being a high-note machine. That was never his lane. And yet somehow, every time he performs, there's this expectation for him to prove himself vocally in a way that doesn't even align with his role. It's like judging a designer for not being a model. Wrong metric, wrong expectation. And fans notice that immediately. Some even joked that the article felt like it was written before the performance even ended, like they already decided the narrative and just needed something to support it. Others pointed out something even more interesting. The idea that certain media outlets tend to lean negative unless it's specific artists or companies. And listen, I'm not saying conspiracy, but I am saying patterns exist. Then there's the whole backing track conversation. Because let's be real again, Coachella is not a controlled music show environment. It's chaotic, it's loud, it's physically demanding. Artists are moving, hyping the crowd, managing energy. You're not just standing there delivering perfect studio vocals. So when people mention that he was performing over a backing track and couldn't go all out vocally anyway, that makes sense. That's not an excuse. That's just how live festival performances work. And honestly, if anything, the fact that people are zooming in on small vocal imperfections instead of talking about the overall performance kind of proves the level he's operating at. Because when an artist is truly irrelevant, nobody is analyzing their high notes. Nobody cares that much. But with G-Dragon, every detail becomes a headline. Every breath becomes a discussion. Every performance becomes a debate. That's not weakness, that's impact. And I think that's why so many fans felt the need to speak up this time. Not because they think the performance was flawless, but because the criticism felt disproportionate. Like, we're ignoring the crowd, the energy, the legacy, the improvement, and zooming into a few shaky notes? That's not a balanced review. That's selective storytelling. And fans are tired of that. At the end of the day, what I'm seeing here is simple. The media tried to control the narrative, but the audience said no. They watched the same stage, heard the same performance, and came to a completely different conclusion. And in today's world, where fans have their own voices, platforms, and communities, that shift matters. Because now it's not just about what gets reported. It's about what people actually believe. And right now, a lot of people believe that G-Dragon did just fine. Maybe even better than fine. And if anything, this whole situation just reminded everyone of one thing. You don't stay relevant for this long by accident. You stay relevant because somehow, even after all these years, people are still watching you, still talking about you, still defending you, still expecting something from you. And honestly, that says more than any headline ever could. And honestly, I want to hear from you. Did you actually think G-Dragon deserved the criticism? Or do you think the media completely missed the point of his performance? Because for me, this felt less like a bad performance and more like people expecting him to be something he was never meant to be. Drop your opinion in the comments. I'm reading everything. And if you love real, unfiltered K-pop news like this, make sure you subscribe to Daebak Daily, because we're not just repeating headlines, we're actually talking about what's really going on. Like the video if you enjoyed it, share it with your friends, and stay tuned, because in K-pop, the drama never sleeps. See you in the next one.
실린지 어떻게 하는지 잘 모르.
알아라.